Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to another day of learning. We are your teachers today. I'm Miss Amanda.
And I'm Miss Brandy. Let's get ready for another episode full of knowledge and fun.
Now, scholars, we have some great things planned for you today. We're so glad that you're with us.
Yes, we have some great learning goals. Today, we're going to share a story with you about a boy, some sheep, and a wolf, and discuss the moral of the story. Miss Amanda, do you like to tell stories?
Well, I really do like to tell stories. People have been telling and listening to stories for many, many years. I especially like to tell and listen to my favorite stories over and over and over again.
Did you know that because of that very reason, somewhere along the way, people started writing down stories?
Well, that makes sense. I have to write things down so I won't forget them. So writing down stories helps us not to forget them.
Exactly. And because someone started writing down those stories, they wrote down the story that we will share with you today and many stories like it. We get to enjoy the stories just like they did many years ago.
So that means we can hear the story today and then we can share them with our friends and families too.
A perfect plan! Now, today's story is fiction. Fiction means not real. It's a story that's made up. So here's a hand motion for the word fiction. Take your finger, it goes right in front of your nose like this, and you flick it to the side. Do the motion for fiction with me. Fiction.
So scholars, what do we call a story that is not real? A story that's made up? If you said fiction, that's it. Our story today is fiction.
And I'm going to put our word fiction right here on our chart. Fiction. It's a story that is not real or a story that's made up. Fiction.
Whoa! But Miss Brandy, it looks like we have a few more words to go.
You're right, Miss Amanda. So let's take a look at our next definition. This one says, people who join you. I know that when people join me at my house, we say that we have company.
And I have that word here, right here in my hand. Company, all right? So company means people who join you. I could say, I always like to have company when I go for a walk in the park.
Here's the motion for company. Company. Now you do it with us. Company.
So company, that's people who join you. And I'm going to put it right up here on our chart beside the definition. Company, people who join you.
So we've learned that stories that are not real are fiction. Friends at home, do that motion for fiction. Fiction.
And we've just learned company, right? That means people who join you.
Next, we have the word prank. A prank is a trick or a practical joke.
Okay, pranks are funny, but I'm no good at them. So, you have no worries, Miss Brandy.
That's good to know, Miss Amanda. Now, let's put a motion for the word prank. We can do hands over our face like this. So, scholars, what's this? That's it. It's the word prank. I'll add it to our chart. Prank. Now, let's use... Miss Amanda, I thought you were no good at pranks.
Well, I'm just getting in a little practice.
Okay, back to our lesson. Let's use the word prank in a sentence.
I've got a great sentence. Miss Amanda practiced a prank on Miss Brandy.
And I'd say it was a great one.
Well, I thought you would like it. So, since we're making sentences, I have another word for us to use in a sentence. The new word is shepherd. A sentence could be, there is a shepherd in the field watching the sheep.
So, scholars at home, that sentence gave us some clues as to what the word shepherd means. We heard field, sheep, and watching. So, a shepherd is someone who watches, guards, and herds sheep.
That's exactly right. And here's a motion that we can use to help us remember shepherd. Put your hands over your eyes like this, like you're watching your sheep. Ah, shepherds watch over our sheep.
Now our next word is related to that word shepherd. This word is tended. It means to look after and take care of. So we could say that the shepherd tended the sheep. That means that the shepherd took care of his sheep.
Right.
Let's do a motion for tended. I'm going to pretend that I'm taking care of my sheep by petting one. So when we do this motion, it reminds us of the word tended.
Now, while Miss Brandy puts tended on our chart, let's take a look at our very last word. That word is startled. Say startled. Remember how Miss Brandy looked a few minutes ago when I pranked her with my scary face? Think about that. Now remember how I did it? Watch me now. Whoa! Oh my goodness. Whoa!
See, friends, what startled looks like?
Goodness, yes. So our motion for startled could be this. Because startled means surprised. That was a good one, Miss Brandy.
I decided to practice a few pranks too, Miss Amanda. Boys and girls, look at all of our vocabulary words today. Let's practice saying them. As I point to them, I'll say them, then you repeat after me. Miss Amanda, can you help us with the hand motions?
I sure will.
Okay. This word is fiction. It means not real, a story that is made up. Now, do the motion. Good. Fiction means not real. Now, everyone, say the word prank. Prank is a joke or a trick, and Miss Amanda has your motion. And do that with her. Great job. Our next word is shepherd. Everyone, say shepherd as you do the motion with Miss Amanda. Remember, a shepherd tends his sheep. Here is the word tended. It means to take care of. Everyone, say tended.
Perfect. Now, do the motion with me for tended.
And our last word is the word startled. Let's all do our motion for the word startled, since we are all masters.
Ready?
Good job.
All right. That was incredible. Now, we've learned some great words today, and guess what, friends? We're going to hear all of these words in our story today.
Yes, and let me tell you a little more about our story. A storyteller named Aesop lived in Greece a very long time ago. The green part on the map here is of Greece. In Aesop's day, people did not have written storybooks, but they did have lots and lots of stories that they told aloud to one another.
That's just what we talked about a few minutes ago. Aesop collected and told many of these stories. He became especially well known for his fables. Like all fables, Aesop's fables were short and were intended to teach a lesson. The lesson is called the moral of the story. This story, and some other stories we will read together, are called Aesop's fables.
Now, let's look at our picture. Boys and girls, what's happening in this picture? Now find the shepherd. And remember, that is someone who tends or takes care of sheep. Now, I want you to use this picture to make a prediction about what might happen in our fable.
A prediction is a thought or an idea about what you think is going to happen. So what is your prediction? Whisper your prediction in your hand. Listen carefully now to the story to see if your prediction is correct.
I'll read the story, and we will pause a few times so that Miss Amanda can ask you some questions. Here we go. There once was a young shepherd boy who tended his sheep at the foot of a mountain near a dark forest. It was lonely for him watching the sheep all day. No one was near except for 3 farmers he could sometimes see working in the fields in the valley below.
Scholars, how does the shepherd boy feel about tending the sheep? Look at the picture and remember the words of the story. The story said he felt lonely. Do you think you would feel lonely if you were tending the sheep?
One day, the boy thought of a plan that would help him get a little company and have some fun. He ran down toward the valley crying, "Wolf! Wolf!" The men ran to meet him, and after they found out there was no wolf after all, one man remained to talk with the boy a while.
Now, scholars, company means to have someone to talk to. What do you think is the shepherd boy's plan to get some company? I think the boy was yelling "wolf" so he could get some company since he was lonely.
The boy enjoyed the company so much that a few days later, he tried the same prank again. And again, the men ran to help him.
Friends at home, why in the world did the boy play the same prank on the farmers? I think I heard it. The prank worked the first time and got the boy some company, so he probably thought it would work again.
A few days later, a real wolf came from the forest and began to steal the sheep. The startled boy ran toward the valley. The more loudly than ever he cried, "Wolf! Wolf!"
Boys and girls, do you think the men will come this time and help? Let's see what happens.
But the men, who had been fooled twice before, thought the boy was tricking them. So, no one came to help the boy save his sheep.
Friends at home, why didn't the men come to help? I think they didn't come because the boy had already tricked them twice, so they thought he was pranking them again.
Here's the moral or lesson for this fable. If you often don't tell the truth, people won't believe you, even when you are telling the truth.
Wow, that is an important lesson. We should be truthful all the time so others will know how they can believe, or others will know that they can believe what we say. That was a short story with a strong moral.
Right. It was a short story because fables are short and always have a moral. Now that we've heard the fable, let's talk about what we've learned. What about your predictions that you made earlier? Were they correct?
Now, if you predicted the story was about a shepherd, you were right. If you predicted the story would be about talking sheep, well, that prediction is not correct. But the great thing about predicting a story is that it's okay if the predictions aren't always right. While you're reading the story, you can change your thinking about it.
That's true. Now think back to the start of the story. Was the shepherd boy, what was he doing at the beginning? Yes, he was tending his sheep. How did he feel?
I remember the fable said the boy felt lonely. And because he was lonely, he made a plan to do something. What did he decide to do? If you said he pretended to see a wolf so he could get some company, that's exactly right. Miss Brandy, do you remember what happened when the wolf really did come?
I do. No one came to help him because they thought he was tricking them again.
That's it. And that brought out the moral of the story. All right? If you don't often tell the truth, people won't believe you even when you are telling the truth.
Now let's think about the characters of the story. And characters are part of the elements of the story. Characters are the people and animals in a story.
So let's practice that together. Say characters are the people and the animals in a story.
So who were the characters in this fable? Great thinking. The characters were the shepherd boy, the farmers, the sheep, and the wolf. Let's put them on our anchor chart under characters.
Perfect. Now, while Miss Brandy is putting that up there, let's think about another story element. All right? We've just finished talking about the characters, but we need to know another part of the story so that it will help us understand what we've been reading. So another element is the setting. Say setting. Perfect. Now, the setting is where and when the story takes place.
So what is the setting again? It is where and when the story takes place. So what's the setting of our story today?
Great question. There you go. We know that the story took place in a field or a pasture, right? So that's the where. What about the when? The story didn't give us a time.
It didn't. But we can tell from the story some clues from our picture too. We saw in our picture that it was daytime.
True.
Yeah. So we could say that the setting was daytime in a pasture. Let's put that setting in its spot here on our anchor chart.
Incredible. Now, there's another story element we need to discuss. It's the plot. Say plot. All right. The plot includes the beginning, middle, and ending of the story. All right? Say that again. Say plot. Now let's do the motions. The plot includes the beginning, middle, and ending of the story.
Now, we do have 3 pictures to tell the plot of our story today. Our first picture shows the shepherd boy crying wolf.
Ooh.
Here he is. There you go, Miss Amanda. And the farmers are running to help. Did this part of the plot happen at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the story? I agree. If you said in the middle of the story. Let's place it here on that M on our chart.
Fantastic. Now I have another picture for you. This picture shows a wolf sneaking up on the sheep. Did this part happen at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the story? Good thinking. That was happening toward the end of the story. So it's going to go here.
I have the last picture, and it shows our shepherd boy all by himself with the sheep. When did this happen in our story? I heard it at the very beginning. Will you put it there for us, Miss Amanda?
Sure thing. Now we have the plot in the correct order. We discuss what happened at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the fable.
Amazing work, scholars. How about a little game to celebrate?
Oh.
Remember when we learned about the word company? We discovered that company meant people who join you. Interestingly, though, company also has another meaning.
So you're saying that words have more than one meaning?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Even if it's the exact same word, spelled the exact same way?
Yes. even if it is the exact same word spelled the exact same way. Now, this is not for every word in our language, but for those who can have different meanings, we call them multiple meaning words.
Okay, I understand now. So now let's get back to your question though. You said you wanted to play a game?
Yes, we learned about that word company. We discovered company means people who join you. Company is a multiple meaning word. It can also mean a group of people, such as a company of artists or a company of firefighters. Have you ever heard of the word company being used this way?
I sure have. I can remember seeing a production that was put on by a dance company. So company can even have another meaning now that I'm thinking about it. It can also mean business.
Yes, that's right, Miss Amanda. So now, scholars, we have 3 meanings for the word company. The name of our game today is called Company Crown. Miss Amanda, I'm going to give a few examples of the word company, and you and our friends at home have to decide which crown the example belongs to.
Oh, well, that sounds interesting. All right, so I do see the crowns here. And I notice that this one says join. So that's one meaning.
Yep.
The other meaning is group. And then our last meaning here is a business, like a company for a business.
You've got it. I'll say a sentence, and you switch out your crowns according to the meaning of the word company.
I can do it.
Okay, here's our first sentence. I had company at my house yesterday afternoon. So which of the crowns fit that word? Company.
I'd say join, because company would be people joining you.
Okay. You would be correct. Company in this case, scholars, are visitors at my house. All right, get ready for our next sentence, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, here it is. The ballet company will perform Friday night.
That was like the dance company. That means group.
Very good. Our key word in that sentence was group. You got it. You're fast at this, Miss Amanda.
Well, you know, my brain's working really well today.
That's it. A group of ballerinas is also known as a company of ballerinas. So let's keep going. Listen to this sentence. My aunt is starting her own company to sell art products.
Selling art products, her own company. That doesn't sound like joining. That doesn't sound like people coming. It doesn't sound like a group of people. So it's got to be business.
Okay.
Business.
Perfect. Perfect. Business. Let's do a couple more. Our next sentence is, the company of firefighters left to battle the blaze.
What do you think, scholars? If you said group, we've got it.
Yes, this isn't a business, nor is it people joining you, so it's a group.
All right.
You are all so good at this. This is the last one.
Okay.
Grandma said I had to clean my room before our company came over.
All right. That doesn't have anything to do with starting a business.
Okay.
It's not really talking about, you know, like firefighters or things like that.
No.
Oh, it's to join, right? That means to join.
Amazing. You now know that company is a multiple meaning word, and you also know all the different meanings.
Fantastic. That was so much fun. We had a great time today discussing multiple meanings.
Yes.
We also discussed so many vocabulary words, and we even talked about story elements. We learned about the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Great job today, scholars.
All rights and credits for today's lesson belong to Core Knowledge Language Arts. We would like to thank them for publicly sharing these valuable resources. The views and opinions expressed in this lesson are those of Core Knowledge authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Mississippi Department of Education. Thank you for joining us today, boys and girls. Keep on reading, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.